प्रातस्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वं सच्चित्सुखं परमहंसगतिं तुरीयम् यत्स्वप्नजागरत् सुषुप्तिमवैति नित्यं तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्घः हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, Sitaram, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, my dear brothers and sisters. This is your friend and brother Acharya Arun Gossai coming to you live from New York City. Once again, on another segment of Avenues to Peace. A program where we're analyzing the various beings, the various methodologies, and the various formulas for achieving the everlasting bliss that we're looking for in this world. A special thank you to my brother Roshanji and his entire team at Abhichuns Radio for making today's program possible live on abhichuns.com, Abhichuns Facebook Live, and Bhuvaneshwar Mandir Facebook Live as well. My dear brothers and sisters, today is the first day, the Pratama Dinam Pratama Ratro of Navaratri. Nava means 9, Nava means new, and Ratri means nights. But Ratri also means Rati, which means to revel in, to develop supreme love and bliss from one's own cave of the heart, from one's own temple of the mind. We see the Universal Mother and we worship her for 9 nights. My dear brothers and sisters, Pitra Paksh just came and it went 2 weeks of adorations and worship of the ideals the ancestors stood for. And we deduced from our analysis during Pitra Paksh that Pitra Paksh is not a time where we worship the dead, but the Hindus take 2 weeks and worship the ideals that the ancestors stood for. So in doing so, one's mind would have been charged after intensifying Shraddha, one's faith in God, praying not only for themselves but for the ancestors, those who paved the way for all of us to enjoy this world that we live in. One's mind is now tuned to worship the Universal Mother, the creator of life, the sustainer of life, and the one who dissolves everything back into its origin, which is the Supreme Self, one fine day. So upon practicing and worshipping the Universal Mother and practicing the philosophies therein in Navaratri, one becomes duly charged. Pitra Paksh gave us the ideals to move forward, but it is Navaratri that gives us the inner spiritual strength to battle all challenges and to be peaceful servants of the Lord in this life. So Navaratri, a very beautiful time that comes 4 times a year. I want to let you know that there are 2 Navaratris that are not widely celebrated, but are equally important as Sharad and Chaitra. We have the first Navaratri that takes place in Chaitra, the months of April. And during this time of the spring, one involves himself in worship of the Universal Mother. Why? Because we hope to spring ahead in life with the blessings of Ma. Then in the summer also there's a Navaratri. And then of course winter, there's Navaratri as well. But one of the most famous and widely celebrated Navaratris is during the time of Sharad. Sharad Navaratri, which is the current month that we're in. This wonderful time of the fall season, my dear friends, it is the actual time where one analyzes where they've been all year. As a matter of fact, the year would have gone so quickly. But it is during the time of Sharad where the harvest takes place, where Diwali will happen as well in this fall season. And so many holidays that bring our Hindu calendar to an end for the year. This wonderful time of Navaratri is usually a time of introspection and immersion, and more so, reflection on where we've been during the whole year. Have our minds been steeped on the Universal Mother, not only for 9 nights, but for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in meditation, in dhyana? Have our bodies gone to the right places that are conducive to finding Mother within ourselves? maybe a good faith-based organization with good leadership, where we are directed within to experience that inner bliss that is none other than Parameshwari. But dear brothers and sisters, these are the questions we have to ask ourselves during Navaratri. And if we can do so, these 9 nights of immersion would have meant something great for us in this world. If at all we have to do one thing in this life, it is to transform from unrest to rest. And the way we do this is by understanding Durga. Who is the Universal Mother Durga? Why is she celebrated? And why 9 nights dedicated to her? So let's answer the first question. Who is Durga? The first question is, who is the Universal Mother? And why are 9 nights dedicated to her? Now this answer is very complicated, but very simple at the same time. Complicated, why? Because we cannot really discuss Mother Durga. It is like trying to describe sugar when you taste it. Sure, you can say sweet, but when you have the experience of sugar in your taste buds, my dear friends, what happens is you fail to even bring a description. Similarly, Durga Ma is none other than Yogamaya. Yogamaya is this power that sustains and governs this entire universe, that allows our minds to be possible, that allows everything to happen so seamlessly within our own selves. Maya tatabidam sarvam. That wonderful Lord that pervades all of this, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, is the unmanifest Bhagavan, known as Durga herself. Maya tatabidam sarvam. That wonderful Lord that pervades. Maya tatabidam sarvam. Avyaktam, unmanifest, pervading all of this world, every gamut of creation, moving, unmoving, living, non-living. It is Mother Durga that allows all of it to exist. So the Yogamaya is actually what is creating all of this in the world. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Pashyabe Yoga Vishwaram. Look at this beautiful Maya that I've created, O Arjuna. Look at it being so seamless. It is seemingly a reality. While I am the reality, says Krishna, my Maya or my Shakti allows all of this to be possible. So Durga is celebrated during Navaratri, the Universal Mother, the feminine aspect of the Lord. And for all of our brothers and sisters who believe in gender equality, here's where Hinduism is such a wonderful way of life. Because we not only think the Lord to be masculine, but the Lord to be greater in the feminine aspect. Why? Because in our lives, we must commend the female gender. Why? Because the females are usually the most emotional, the most compassionate, the most giving. As a matter of fact, when a child is born, it is the mother who usually teaches the child compassion and love. And what is Durga? As we see in a deep analysis of what she is actually love and compassion personified. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Dayarupena Sanstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Dayarupena Sanstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namaha. In all beings there is this compassion. In all beings there is this prema. In all beings there is this unconditional love, my dear brothers and sisters. And in our lives, we must indeed focus on these qualities, grow them, develop them, so that Mother Durga will not only be a murti in our life, but we'll be living manifestations of Durga. So the second part of the answer, what is Durga? Durga is simply you and I, my dear friends. That part of us that is all loving, all compassionate, beyond the body and mind, that is waiting to manifest. This is Mother Durga. Now, the Universal Mother during Navaratri is celebrated as Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. And of course, we know that there are 9 forms of Mother Durga as well. But today, let's analyze Why Durga? Why Lakshmi? Why Saraswati? Whenever we think of the trinity of goddesses, these are the three that come to mind. And I want you to pay careful attention as to why the order is the way it is. The first is Durga. Durga, again, very hard to describe. Even the Vedas, Puranas have a tough time describing who this unseen power called Yogamaya is. But as we celebrate Navaratri, Durga comes to mind. And the word Durga comes from the Sanskrit root Durga. Durga means a fort, my dear brothers and sisters. A fort that protects us from 6 enemies: Kama, Krodh, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. The 6 enemies that are bringing us down daily in this life. The 6 enemies that are making us feel lower than we should feel. The 6 enemies that are getting burdened in the mind, giving burden to the mind rather. These are the 6 enemies that Durga Ma protects us from. Now the question is, how does she protect us from this? Does she come herself with her trishul, with her sword and her gada and all of the ornaments and weapons that she has in her 8 arms? My dear brothers and sisters, she equips us with all of the tools within to be better individuals. Love, compassion, inner spiritual strength, devotion, faith, kindness, determination. All of these qualities, if we can harness them, my dear friends, we are sure to battle these 6 enemies. As a matter of fact, in the Durga Saptashati, it is a book of war. Mother Durga defends Dharma again, just like the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is none other than Durga herself. Gita is a feminine shabda, a feminine word. And that allows us to ascertain the fact that Durga Ma is Bhagavad Gita, Shruti Mata herself. And in the Bhagavad Gita, it is a book on defending Dharma. And Durga Ma in Durga Saptashati defends Dharma by battling the various demons of the time. For example, Shumbha Nishumbha, the first set of demons that Mother destroys in the form of awakening Vishnu Bhagwan from his yoga nidra, his deep sleep. Shumbha Nishumbha represents like and dislike, my dear brothers and sisters. And if we can do this, Madhur Kaitam, if we can do this, my dear brothers and sisters, what happens is we will conquer all of the 6 enemies of this life. As Madhu and Kaitab come from the navel area of Bhagavan, Vishnu himself, and while he's sleeping, run amok around the world, it is the Yogamaya, Yoga Nidra that awakens him, and he's able now to destroy them. So once we're awakened by the Universal Mother, we're able to conquer these inner enemies, starting with likes and dislikes, Raga or Dvesh. And then what happens after that? Selfishness, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy are destroyed. This is how Mother Durga is a fort. A fort protects, isn't that true? The mind should be fort-like because it is Durga herself. And when we manifest her qualities, that inner peace within all of us can never be dissipated, can never be attacked by the world. We are simply finding that peace on a daily basis, my dear friends. So in our lives, we must realize that Durga is this phenomenon that allows all of this to be possible. The second set of 3 nights is dedicated to Mahalakshmi. Who is Mahalakshmi? She is the mother that grants us the ultimate wealth, peace of mind. Some people say that Mahalakshmi is the giver of wealth. But in the second set of 3 nights, my dear brothers and sisters, we really analyze that it is not material wealth that she gives, but she gives the 6-fold spiritual wealth that we spoke about during Sadhana Panchakam. Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Tatiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. And what these are, we will see in great detail at Bhuvaneshwar Mandir this week. But I want to let you know that it is these wealths that lead to peace of mind. And if we can have and cultivate peace of mind in our lives, we would have achieved the greatest wealth. For the one who has peace of mind, my dear brothers and sisters, the one who has peace in their thoughts and their existence, what happens is they are ready and able to achieve all sorts of success in this world. That is why peace of mind is the greatest wealth. So, Mahalakshmi, that inner light of bliss, the inner light of peace. Then we have Saraswati. Once you have protected the mind through Durga, through her philosophies, once you have found that peace of mind that is the greatest wealth as a result, knowledge would have superseded everything. It is a mind that is peaceful that can find the higher self. The goal of this human life is to escape the chakra, the wheel of birth and death, coming and going, my dear brothers and sisters. And when one can find that inner light through spiritual knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that supreme reality, and I am not this body and mind. When one can understand this fact, that what they are is in all creatures and beings, when one excels, be happy for them. When one grieves, grieve with them. If we could practice these principles, Navaratri would have meant something in our lives. So, my dear brothers and sisters, this in a nutshell is a very superficial look, a bird's eye view as to what Navaratri is. Immersing one's mind for 9 nights, leading up to the culmination, Vijay Dashmi. Vijay, victory. Dashami, the 10th Tithi, the 10th day of the Hindu calendar. So in this way, what happens is one is equipped now to go into the winter, to meditate and to introspect, bringing about, ushering in the beautiful spring of the new year as well. So God bless all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, and I hope you'll visit us at Bhuvaneshwar Mandir this week. Yesterday we had such a wonderful, eventful day in the Bhuvaneshwar Mandir span of activities. It started off at the Mandir very early in the morning. All of us gathered with our satsang, our havans, dedicated to Guruji and all of the pitris. And then a signage was unveiled in the front of the Mandir. And we also unveiled the new exterior that was newly constructed, beautifully done, looking like a real Shiva temple at this point of time. And it was all dedicated to our Guruji on the last day of Pitra Paksh. What a fitting time to dedicate to one who has paved the way for all of us. None other than our Guruji Sri Prakash Gossai Ji. So on behalf of our Bhuvaneshwar family, on behalf of the Gossai family, we thank all of you for your love and support. Yesterday,